Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Ruslan G YouTube channel, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the 5 habits of the richest and most wealthiest people. And if it's your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button because you're going to learn a lot, especially if you hit that notification bell as well, because then you get notified as soon as I make a video and you're the first one to the channel. And you leave a comment and you hit that like button, because if you do those things, you're an absolute stud and you probably deserve a lifetime of luck. And without further ado, let's dive into the 5 habits of the most successful people on planet Earth. So after studying a lot of successful people, a lot of wealthy individuals, I learned that there are 5 characteristics of these wealthy people that each and every single one of them do. And for the most part, they're actually pretty in line with each other. And you'd be surprised on how easy these are to do. Obviously, at first, it's probably gonna be really hard to get going, but once you do these things consistently, and you do these for maybe 30, 40, 50 days, you'll create what's called a habit. And when you create a habit, your body knows to continue that habit. The only time is if you start to do something bad or something that's easier, and then that habit gets a little bit destroyed, and then you have to kind of rebuild it again. But essentially, if you stick to these things, I promise you, at the end of the 30, 40, 50 days after you form that habit, you're gonna feel a lot better about yourself, about your self-esteem, about your motivation levels, dedication, and even hopefully your financial well-being as well, because that's what exactly these people did in order to get to where they're at. And so the first one on the list that I have for you guys is to be an early riser. And a lot of people will say, well, what if I, work really late and I work till 10, 11, 12 o'clock? Well, if that's the case, it's okay to get up a little bit later. You don't have to be that 4 a.m. Joe or 5 a.m. guy that wakes up super, super early every single time, no matter what time they go to bed. And honestly, it's probably not healthy for you not to get a lot of sleep. So what I would replace this with is get a lot of sleep, meaning 7-8 hours a day if you can. And if that means working a little bit later, so if you get off work at 10 and you come home and you grind for another 2-3 hours, that's okay, as long as you get up within that 7 to 8 hour window. And I'm not saying just get up and lay in bed. Getting up and get going, and maybe even working out or meditating or doing something productive, because that will actually offset the rest of your day and how productive you really will be by the end of each and every day. So the second habit that wealthy people do is actually, instead of working for their money, they start to make their money work for them. And if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talks about that very thing in that book. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I have it right here for you. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great read, and he talks about making your money work for you. So what that means is, obviously, you have to go get a job. Unless you were born in a rich family, you have to go get a job and you have to make money. But once that money lands in your bank account, what do you do with that money is the most crucial thing that will offset your financial future. If you can make that money work for you by investing in assets, like stocks, real estate, any type of asset that's a productive asset, that will make you a lot wealthier for the long term, and your money will start to work for you, and eventually you can completely side rail and go onto your own path of financial freedom, where your money works for you versus you work for your money. And the third really important lesson is, I feel like we're all yes people, right? We're all yes men, yes women, and we just want to please everybody, and that is great, especially when you're first starting out. But eventually, once you're starting to get a grasp on life, on reality, on your work, on your value, you can say no. Learn to say no. And that's the first really hard lesson for us to learn, which is just to say no. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. Saying no also doesn't make people hate you. The reality of it is if you learn to say no to others when it's something really inconvenient for you, or if you just don't like doing it, it will bring you happiness. And a lot of times people say, well, what if it's gonna, bring me a lot of money? Shouldn't I say yes? Well, again, maybe it's not worth your time, or maybe there's another opportunity that you will have to say no to because you took this challenge on. Think about the consequences that this yes can bring you versus just simply saying no. The fourth important lesson that you should learn is that a lot of these wealthy people, they just educate themselves. They don't go to a school or even get a private education from a college or anything like that. They actually end up learning a lot of their skills on their own. A lot of times by just reading books, a lot of times just by having a mentor. So go out there, find some books that you really enjoy about, subjects that you really like, and also maybe find a mentor. Maybe find someone that is doing exactly what you want to do in the field that you want to do, and learn from them. Even if you have to work for free, right? Even if it's like, hey, I'm just gonna come on board and work for free for you for 3 months if you want, and I don't expect any payment, I don't expect anything from you. And at the end of those 3 months, if you want to hire me, I would love to work for you. If you can bring value to people at that level and work for someone that wants to hire you, maybe they don't know that they want to hire you, but you bring them so much value that they have no reason not to, you will be a much more successful person in the long term just by doing that, just by implementing that, because you can learn so much more from someone else that's done and doing exactly what you want to become. And the fifth and most important lesson that you should learn is never to stay still. If you stay still in life, a lot of times life will pass you by. So remember, after this video is done, go out there, go do something, even if it's something like watching the next video on how to invest or on cryptocurrency or whatever it might be. Go out and do something that you're uncomfortable with, because that will lead to greater change in your life. And that's what life is all about, staying on the move and never staying still. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, go leave a comment down below what you'd like to see next. And also while you're down there, smash that like button. And if it's your first time to the channel, please subscribe and go check out the links in the description as well. You might find something interesting down there. And I'm wishing you all the health, wealth, and happiness that your body can possibly muster. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, don't forget to let me know. And also follow me on my Instagram. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.